Tonight, travel turbulence.
It's unfortunate, but these are, we can't control these things.
Air Canada begins canceling flights.
I'm a little nervous, apprehensive. I really don't know what to do right now.
With flight attendants on strike notice.
So we're telling clients to have patience.
For Saturday. Another jewelry store smash and grab. The footage of the crime in Guelph.
Every little detail helps.
And the impact.
For me personally, and it's more the effect of my fellow employees.
Beyond the physical damage. A micro rental unit plan.
Difficult to assess how a person or a couple could be living in a one-bedroom that's around 200 plus square feet.
That's causing some major concern.
We're not Toronto, and we have to stop thinking like Toronto.
In a Kitchener neighborhood. Good evening. We begin with travelers bracing for uncertainty as Air Canada flight attendants serve notice that they are prepared to strike. Tonight, the countdown begins to a Saturday work stoppage with the status of flights up in the air. CTV's Judy Trin now on whether there is an 11th hour solution to avert a strike.
Air Canada has started cancelling flights to lock out its flight attendants, even before they walk off the job, leaving some in a desperate lurch. Marianne Barrow's weekend flight to LA was cancelled. She may not get to her family reunion.
It's been 3 hours. I'm on hold, waiting. So I told my husband, drop me off at the airport. Maybe someone can help me from an Air Canada customer service. And they said they can't.
To explain why the airline is taking measures ahead of Saturday's strike deadline, Air Canada President Michael Rousseau says the airline regrets the impact of the disruption. He blames the disappointing conduct of CUPE's negotiators and says the risk of a strike can create chaos for travelers. The union representing 10,000 flight attendants said that Air Canada's offer doesn't keep pace with inflation.
The company came to us with a very minimal wage proposal. So they put 8% on the table in the first year, and that still would not pull our members out of the poverty level at the beginning.
Air Canada did offer a 38% increase in pay over 4 years, improved pension, ground pay, and crew rest, and an offer for binding arbitration. The airline will lose hundreds of millions of dollars if a strike can't be averted.
So they've struggled a bit with profitability the last quarter. So this is going to be something that will really hit the bottom line.
130,000 passengers could be impacted daily. For now, many remain on the side of the workers.
We think that they should get paid for what they're doing. If they're not getting paid for those hours boarding and deplaning, they should be paid for that.
For now, the federal government is staying on the sidelines, but offering mediators to help with negotiations. Federal Labor Minister Patty Hajdu says the best agreements are the ones the parties reach themselves. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
And local travelers joined those concerned about what a strike could mean for summer travel plans. For some people, the deadline to cancel is creeping up. CTV's Heather Centerman is live now at the region of Waterloo International Airport with more. Heather, first of all, what is the region's message to anyone who's booked with Air Canada?
The region of Waterloo says if you're flying Air Canada, then it's best to reach out directly to Air Canada as they would have the most up-to-date information. One Kitchener traveler I spoke with says she's flying out of YYZ, but she's nervous to find out if that is still happening. Allison Pretty loves to travel. This year, she planned to go to Bermuda for the second time. The last time she was there was 45 years ago with her parents, who have since passed.
It does bring back memories, and I was thinking of going to some places that I know I went with them.
Her flight with Air Canada isn't for a few weeks, but with a flight attendant strike looming,
it's a little unnerving. I've had it booked for about 6 months now.
Pretty has until Saturday to cancel for a full refund, but she isn't sure if she should.
I'm a little nervous, apprehensive. I really don't know what to do right now.
It's a bad case of deja vu. In September 2024, Air Canada pilots were threatening job action when Pretty was going to Disney World.
Last year, it was 3 weeks out. I did change airways. I went on a different airline other than Air Canada.
Pratee's travel agent sympathizes with her clients, as well as anyone planning to fly Air Canada soon.
The clients really, it's a tough situation to be in because, of course, you're anticipating, you're expecting this great vacation, and all of a sudden, boom, it's gone.
All flyers can do now is hurry up and wait.
So we're telling clients to have patience and that we are monitoring the situation moment to moment because it's very fluid. Things are changing constantly.
Her advice is to always book with a travel professional, get travel insurance, and don't only look for the best deal.
You buy that basic fare, that cheapest fare that you see online, you're not going to be able to make any changes at all whatsoever. It is non-refundable, no changes, no baggage, like put your toothbrush in your back pocket and away you go with your ID. And that's it for those fares.
Like many travelers, she's staying positive, hoping a strike could be averted or at least not last long.
It's been my experience, they're pretty short-lived because it just cripples the industry, especially right now in the summertime. Like, it's really difficult to rebook those flights.
It's important to note there are no Air Canada flights that fly directly out of this airport, but there is a bus that goes from here to Toronto. The region of Waterloo says they don't have information at this time on if that will be impacted. We did reach out to Air Canada to find out if it will be impacted, but we have not heard back. Tony.
Okay, we'll pass along those updates when we get them. Heather, thank you. CTV's Heather Centerin live at YKF tonight. And time now for a check on the weather. Let's head over to Alex Pinto in studio with all the details. Alex, I think the cloud cover we had today was maybe the only thing that brought us a little bit of relief from all of this heat we've had over the last week.
Yeah, and it still felt a little bit humid, though, out there. But the good news for us here in Waterloo region, that heat warning has come to an end. But I can't say that's like that for everyone, at least for most of southern Ontario. That has been lifted, but if you're in Brantford, Hamilton, Toronto, even the Kingston area still under that heat warning. The good news, though, that is expected to end later today and as we get into the overnight hours. So this is where we're seeing daytime highs still 31, but with the humidex feeling more like 40. So we're still feeling that heat and humidity in those areas. A little bit of cloud cover for us here in Waterloo region and surrounding areas. Not too much activity to report today, but right now 28 degrees it is in Kitchener, Waterloo, 27 in London, 25 if you are in Sarnia, and with that humidex feeling more like 34 here in KW. Also feeling like 34 in London, 32 in Barrie. So a couple of degrees less there, which is definitely more manageable than what we have seen over the last several days. The good news, we are in for a bit of a sunny stretch ahead of the weekend. I'll let you know, too, how low it could go in terms of overnight conditions. But, yeah, like to your point, relief from the heat, which is pretty nice to see, Tony.
Not too low yet, though, right?
Not too low yet.
All right. We'll get those details. Thank you, Alex. We turn now to a shooting investigation that's been underway at a Kitchener motel. One man has non-life-threatening injuries. Two other men from the region were arrested. Police say it was targeted. It happened around 11:30 this morning. Officers were seen guarding a door to a taped-off room at the Victoria Motel this afternoon. No word on any charges. Next, to Norfolk County, where the SIU is investigating a fatal police shooting. One man was killed when officers opened fire at the marina in Turkey Point. CTV's Jerry Dewan reports.
The SIU and OPP were both on scene near the dead end of Clubhouse Road in Turkey Point. A personal watercraft sat covered in OPP tape in the nearby marina. Darcy Lemon works at a jet ski rental outlet where the marina channels enter Lake Erie. He spotted the watercraft going high speeds as it entered the channels around 1 Tuesday afternoon.
He was going at least like 120 kilometers an hour. That's like top speed on those brand new jet skis.
Following close behind were police and the Coast Guard.
We saw him come flying through, and maybe 30 seconds later, like 4 police boats and a Coast Guard boat come chasing in after him.
Our office received a call just after 1 p.m. yesterday afternoon of an individual coming in fast into our waterway.
Brad Thompson is general manager of McDonald Turkey Point Marina. Staff called him after seeing the man abandon the jet ski and run into the wooded area.
We checked all the boats. We didn't know the severity of the situation, and then we seen the K9 folks roll in.
Thompson says staff occasionally have to deal with boaters who enter the marina at unsafe speeds, but he says a review of surveillance video made it clear that this was something very different. A short time after the man left the marina property, Thompson heard the sound of gunfire.
And one of the officers said there's been shots fired, so we evacuated the area, locked our staff down, and then the police had me lock C-row down so nobody could get in or out.
At this point, the SIU is only saying that the watercraft caught police attention on the lake, but haven't said why. They say there was an interaction in the wooded area, and the 22-year-old man was hit simultaneously by a round from an N-Win anti-riot weapon and a firearm. He was pronounced deceased at the scene. Lemon says it's hard to understand how it all unfolded.
We get down here with like complaints and like cops will show up, but never nothing like that. Like that's something you'd see like down in like Mexico or down in the States.
The SIU has assigned 4 investigators to the case. In Turkey Point, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
A Halton police officer was injured while responding to a break and enter at a Shoppers Drug Mart in Milton early today. Police were called to the Shoppers on Main Street just before 3 a.m. One person arrested at the scene. A second attempted to get away in a vehicle, but was arrested a short distance away. Police are looking for a third person who got away. The officer's injuries are non-life-threatening and charges are pending. Guelph police are investigating yet another break-in at a jewelry business. Thieves used a sledgehammer to smash through the back door of a store on Speedvale Avenue East, taking tools and jewelry repair parts worth thousands of dollars. CTV's Krista Simpson has more on this for us tonight. Krista.
Tony, I spoke with employees at the business who say they were woken up in the middle of the night after being alerted to the break-and-enter in progress by their security system. The thieves got away, but the security cameras captured footage of what happened. Security video captures a black Range Rover at the back door of Royal Gold Jewelry and Precious Metals in Guelph's northeast end. Out comes a masked person in a safety vest, who then tries to smash the camera with a sledgehammer, only managing to knock it and provide an even better view of the entrance. Next is the door. The thieves get in. Moments later, they're out, arms full of tools and jewelry repair products. In total, just under $8,000 worth of items were taken. The theft happening just before 2 in the morning, Wednesday.
They got away before the police even got here.
An employee at the business who asked not to be identified says while officers arrived in a matter of minutes, the 3 thieves had already escaped.
We just hope that they're caught.
This is not the first time this business has been hit, and employees say the difficult part is feeling like it's likely to happen again.
We don't believe that this would also be the last time, so yeah, we just have to prepare, right? That's the only thing we can really do.
A couple of years ago, there was another overnight break-in at the store. And this year alone, they went through a daytime smash and grab and what appeared to be another attempted robbery, though that person did not end up getting in. The store employee says new security measures have been added, including bars on the windows.
We don't want people to drive their cars through, right? Because we've heard of that happening.
Store employees say so far there have been no arrests made in the previous robberies.
Every little detail helps, be it a marking on the individual or the vehicle or even the clothing. Everything helps.
Guelph police say these kinds of investigations are complex and often involve multiple incidents spanning different jurisdictions.
And through collaborations with different units and services, they can generally find out who does do these type of robberies, and it does take time. These aren't the kind of things that are solved overnight.
Back at the store, while replacing the tools and repairing the door is a hassle, the real loss is a sense of safety.
For me personally, and it's more the effect of my fellow employees, and yeah, it's just really unsettling in my heart that this is still happening to us.
Police are asking anyone with information related to this break-in to contact either them or Crime Stoppers, and we have extended security footage of the break-in over on our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Krista Simpson reporting live. Thank you, Krista. An 83-year-old man who police were looking for today in Brant County has been found alive. The man was reported missing around 9 last night, setting off a search involving police and the community from the ground and the air. This was along and near Canning Road and Highway 2. The man was found just before 4 this afternoon.
OPP Aviation Services located the 83-year-old in a cornfield by some tobacco fields. So the good news is that this 83-year-old is going to be reunited with his family, and that's the best news I could deliver. And
police are also thanking the community for their search efforts. Well, a strange sight in the sky over southern Ontario last night. You may have seen it, an object spotted by stargazers, and it's fueled plenty of speculation online. CTV's Scott Lightfoot went searching for some answers.
On a night when many were looking up, hoping to catch the Perseid meteor shower,
that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Residents across parts of Canada and the U.S. saw something else.
All of a sudden, literally out of nowhere, came this puffy, kind of looked like a bow tie with really pretty ends to it.
But no one seemed sure of just exactly what they were looking at.
I'm 68 years old and I've looked at the sky for many years and I've never, ever seen anything that came close to what this was.
Jim Walsh captured this video from outside his cottage near Ottawa. He thought he heard raccoons in the trash, but when he went outside, what he saw was something he couldn't explain. And he wasn't the only one.
Right over there, I could see the Big Dipper in the background, actually.
The cell phone videos and photos don't do it justice, according to those who saw it with their own eyes.
It looked like a white light, and it had like a spirals, and it was slowly moving.
Looked like a kind of a bright light in the middle with wispy cloud-like things coming, almost looked like wings coming off both ends of it. We've got two grandsons here. One of them lost a tooth yesterday, and they're convinced it was the tooth fairy leaving with one of their teeth.
It was a fairy of sorts, according to those who watch the sky for a living.
It is just a rocket that's falling back to Earth. Standard rocket procedure.
Parts of this rocket launched last evening from French Guiana, ferrying a European weather satellite into polar orbit.
And even though it was nighttime for us here on the ground, because the rocket was so high up at 800 kilometers and far enough east, it was still being lit by the sun.
When it's falling back to Earth over the Atlantic Ocean, it's still slightly burning. And so you see that plume from the fuel, from the exhaust that's coming as it's sort of fizzling out and falling back to Earth. And it looks wild.
A wild few minutes for stargazers who thought they might see a meteor and ended up seeing what was, at least for the moment, an unidentified flying object.
Lots of stuff from space. It's gorgeous when you see it through a telescope, but looking at it with the naked eye, this was something completely brand new.
Scott Lightfoot, CTV News.
All right, a reminder to start your day in the know with our CTV Kitchener newsletter. Local content from our newsroom right to your inbox, including a look at the day's top stories, the latest forecast, and some must-see videos. You can sign up over at ctvnewskitchener.ca. Almost 40 thefts from vehicles in one neighborhood in just over a month. Coming up, CTV's Ashley Bacon on the wave of crime in Waterloo that has regional police putting out an alert to the wider community.
Well, some areas still under that heat warning this hour. We'll have more on when another cool down is expected and when we could be in for a sunny stretch. In your full forecast a little bit later.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
There's been a rash of thefts from vehicles in Waterloo's Northdale neighborhood. CTV's Ashley Bacon now on the crimes that have police putting out an alert to the community.
Lock it, secure it, and report it.
From July 1st to August 7th, Waterloo Regional Police have received 38 reports of thefts from vehicles in Waterloo's Northdale neighborhood. The increase in incidents prompting police to issue a community alert.
Typically in that area in particular, there's a lot of movement going back and forth between people coming in for school and as well for work. So it is a dense populated area in our community, and it's one that just typically does see a lot of more action at this time of the year.
Police releasing this picture Wednesday of a man they'd like to speak with in connection to thefts. They say between August 7th and 8th, an unknown male entered multiple vehicles in the area of Regina Street, an unsettling trend for those who live, work, and study in the area.
It's a bit worrying that there's like thefts around the area because it's supposed to be like a safe space.
We have to be very diligent nowadays, and we have to make sure that the vehicles are always locked because you just never know. And it's unfortunate that we have to really take those double checks.
I'd get up every morning and I'd be like worried, so I'd have to go and like check that the car is still good and still there and safe and stuff.
Both the University of Waterloo and Wilfrid Laurier University are part of the neighborhood. Police say the high density of the area can be attractive to those who may be out looking to do the wrong thing.
We also take reports of any suspicious activity that may be lurking around from our non-emergency number. But if there is an ongoing criminal activity happening, call 911.
The alert welcomed by residents.
I think it's actually great for community safety and awareness, and to put it out there. And this way, if we all work together to be able to keep more of a safe environment and protect our cars and belongings, we won't have these issues, increases in insurance and theft and things like that. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's great. I think being proactive is the way to go.
We have members of our direct action response team as well as our strategic services targeting that area to address it, and we're working very closely with the universities as well.
The fall semester is just weeks away, with thousands of students expected to move back into the region, which again is why WRPS has issued the alert reminding residents to make sure your personal belongings are secured. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Waterloo.
A new type of housing a developer wants to bring to a Kitchener neighborhood is getting some pushback. This involves turning a single detached home into a 3-story micro-unit rental. CTV's Colton Weens now on why not everyone thinks this is the way to fill the housing gap.
Since about 1966, this corner property on Fairway Road North has been a single detached dwelling. It was purchased by Maxwell Building Consultants last year, and they now want to build a 3-story, 26-unit affordable rental property on the land.
Affordable housing isn't a single thing, it's a wide range of things. So in this particular case, we've been working on developing and learning about micro units.
A new concept to the region, the studio and 1-bedroom apartments would be similar in size to a hotel room, and rent costing around $860 to just over $1,100 a month.
The 1-bedrooms are in the neighborhood of 240, 260 square feet for the studio. 1-bedroom's a little bit bigger, around 350, 375.
Maxwell says by using movable furniture, each unit can have a bed, bathroom, and kitchen in the smaller than normal space.
That carries.
On Monday, Kitchener's Planning and Strategic Initiatives Committee approved recommending a zoning change to allow multiple dwellings on the property. City staff say the project helps meet a major need in the community.
We need units of all different sizes. A high percentage of those in need of housing are singles or couples. And so even small units like the ones proposed in this case are really important.
News of the proposed development has not sat well with many of the neighboring property owners, including the immediate property owner who has now put her house up for sale.
These windows are overlooking my living space, my bedroom, my living room. Why would I want 26 people looking in my space?
I am feeling like I am claustrophobic, like I'm going to be boxed in.
A woman that lives 2 doors down from the proposed property says she supports low-income housing in the area, but this design doesn't work.
Too large a building in an area that doesn't suit the development that they're looking at doing. Looking forward to, the idea and the prospect of helping low-income housing, it's just not suitable. It's not fair.
Maxwell says the building height is lower than the maximum allowed, and they've worked to minimize the number of windows.
There's going to be those competing interests, but at the end of the day, we have a growing population as well, and being well served by transit, retail opportunities, job employment opportunities, that's where we need to put the intensification in Waterloo region.
A site plan application is being reviewed while the planning and zoning amendments still need approval from council and are expected to be discussed when council meets on August 25th. Colton Weens, CTV News, Kitchener.
A live look outside now from the region of Waterloo International Airport. A little bit hazy in the sky and still humid, as Alex was mentioning. We do have a little bit more sun expected later this week, though, and some more comfortable overnight lows. Alex will be back shortly with those details. Also, a key time to take in the magic of monarchs, the spike in sightings in Stratford, and the push to preserve the species. And next, Key conversations this week over the Russia-Ukraine war, why it could be a critical few days in the effort to end the years-long battle.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Alex is back with our forecast for the rest of the week. And we've been apart for a few days. Some of us out enjoying the weather. Yes. I have to say, though, I got a little bit too much heat.
Yeah, we were just talking about just how hot and humid it was, and I think all of us are kind of feeling it.
Some people really love that intense, tropical humidity. I'm kind of okay with it being somewhere in the mid-20s.
Yes.
And if I overdo it and spend too much time out in the humidity, it just feels like a slog for the few days after that.
Yeah, you can really feel it, and we've seen that pretty much all summer too.
We have.
We haven't really had much of a break from that humidity, unfortunately. Like we were saying, I'm low-key ready for a little bit of fall weather.
Yes, but I will tell you, Alex, I spent a high proportion of each of the previous days in a lake.
Good.
And it was very refreshing and very nice. And you forget sometimes what beautiful, clear, crystal lakes we have here in Ontario.
Sometimes you just need a good reset, and yeah, good on you for at least being by the water, trying to cool it down a little bit, right? It's all about finding a bit of a balance. But even out there, we're still feeling a little bit of that heat and humidity. So we take a live look from the region of Waterloo International Airport tonight. Quite a few flights going out this evening. Tony noted a little bit. We're noticing a bit of haze in the sky, still seeing a bit of cloud cover out there. But in terms of any major active weather, that should be behind us, which is nice to see. So for us here in Kitchener-Waterloo, that heat warning has ended, so good news there, but not for everyone. If you are in Toronto, if you're in Hamilton, if you are in Brantford this evening, you are still under this heat warning. Even Kingston is still under it, but just to compare, pretty much all of Southern Ontario was under this. We saw quite a difference with all that pink over the last few days, pretty much taking over the screen here. But daytime highs 31 with the humidex feeling more like 40. The good news, if you are in those areas, it is expected to end later today or tonight. So something to keep an eye on and look forward to them. So slight chance for a bit of active weather. So Toronto, Hamilton, Brantford, Port Stanley, Sarnia, Chatham, Kent. So especially these areas that are impacted, the GTHA. Hopefully, once we see the system, if you're getting a little bit of wet weather now, that is expected to continue through the evening. That's when conditions should then start cooling down. That's something we saw here when we saw a little bit of active weather yesterday. But getting into overnight, mainly clear conditions, which is pretty nice to see. We could see a little bit of fog patches start to develop overnight, but not too bad for your Thursday morning. Maybe a little bit of cloud cover expected, especially if you're going to be a little bit further north, Mount Forest, Wyerton, and getting into your Friday. Yeah, mainly a little bit of cloud cover, mix of sun and cloud, but it should be a pretty nice start to the weekend, which we'll get into in just a moment. But 28 it is here in Kitchener-Waterloo. That is our high for the day. 27 in London, 24 this hour in Sarnia. And with the humidex, we noted it is still feeling a little bit more humid, feeling more like 35 here in KW this hour, 36 in Toronto and 36 in Hamilton. So we hit our high around 2 o'clock or so this afternoon. So just a couple of degrees above normal for this time of year. Record high was 37 degrees. That was set back in 1918. And on this day in 1930, we saw an overnight record low, believe it or not, of just 4 degrees, which after this heat and humidity, 4 degrees overnight actually sounds like quite nice at this point. That sun now rising at 6:24 in the morning, setting, 8:29 p.m. So a minute before 8:30 in the evenings. Overnight, 13 degrees. That is our expected overnight low. Really nice conditions if you want to open the windows and get a little bit of a breeze in there tonight. Mainly clear. We could see, as I noted before, a little bit of fog after midnight. So if you are someone who gets up in the overnight, maybe you've got an early morning shift or so and you're driving in the dark, just keep in mind that when it comes to the roads as well. So 28 tomorrow's our expected high, 33 with that humidex. It's going to feel closer to mainly setting sunny rather. We could see some increase in cloud cover, and that UV index, a note, is expected to be quite high, sitting at about an 8 tomorrow. So we could see some increase in cloud as we look ahead to tomorrow. 28 degrees, that is our expected high. But then it looks like a nice sunny stretch is in store starting on Friday with a high of 30 degrees. And yeah, hopefully not as humid as what we've been seeing over the last couple of days. For Lambton, Kent, and Essex, mainly sunny conditions for your Thursday before that sun is expected to stick around for a couple of days. And yeah, pretty nice to enjoy the weekend. And yeah, maybe you're going to be by the lake or a pool to cool down a bit as well. And southern Georgian Bay, mix of sun and cloud for tomorrow expected. And Friday, sunny sky with an expected high of 28 degrees. And here's tonight's Weather Watcher picture. This one sent to us from Donald Bradley at the Kincardine sunset last evening as the storm was rolling in. And if you take a look at your screen, ever so close, you can see that lightning strike over Lake Huron.
Is that what that is?
That's what that is.
For a second, I thought that was something physical in the distance.
It almost looks like maybe like a sailboat or something if you're seeing it from far away. But no, that's a lightning strike. So that's an incredible shot. Wow. And to capture it at that moment during that sunset, beautiful over Lake Huron. So yeah, not a bad place to be. And maybe you want to frame that shot because I don't know if I've seen one like that at this point yet. So yeah, pretty neat.
For point of reference, our monitors are pretty small under the cameras here, so I couldn't quite make out the detail. I thought maybe it was a mast of a sail or something as well, too, but that's a lightning strike and captured in progress.
Yeah, can confirm, lightning strike.
Okay. Wild night. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you.
It's a key week in the push to end the war in Ukraine. U.S. President Donald Trump is touching base with European leaders, along with the presidents of Ukraine and Russia this week. CTV's Mike LeCouture now on how some of those talks have been going.
There has been a notable shift in President Trump's tone this week when talking about Friday's meeting. He's gone from saying Ukraine should be ready for a land swap to now saying Russia better be prepared for some serious talks.
I don't have to say there will be very severe consequences.
President Trump with a stern but vague warning to Vladimir Putin if the Russian president isn't serious about negotiating in Alaska. Now, if that meeting does go well, the American president wants to move quickly towards another summit.
I would like to do it almost immediately, and we'll have a quick second meeting between President Putin and President Zelensky and myself if they'd like to have me there.
European leaders emerged from a video conference with Trump this morning saying all agree. Any change to Ukraine's borders must be decided by Ukrainians. That call was to shape Friday's discussion. While Zelensky won't be at that table, he hopes the central focus is a ceasefire. Putin is bluffing about wanting to end the war, Zelensky told reporters, as well as European leaders and Trump. After a separate meeting of European countries and Canada, the Coalition of the Willing released a statement saying it is ready to implement military plans to support Ukraine in the event of a ceasefire.
We're ready to support this, including through the plans that we've already drawn up to deploy a reassurance force once hostilities have ceased.
When that could be remains an open question. Russian forces have reportedly pushed into territory held by Ukraine in the Donetsk region.
The only thing that is going to put an end to this war is if the U.S. gives a lot more military aid to Ukraine and allies itself with the Europeans and Zelensky.
President Zelensky has been pushing for more economic sanctions on Russia to cripple its war machine, something Trump has been reluctant to consider so far. Mike LeCouture, CTV News, Ottawa.
A summertime bump in highway breakdowns. Coming up, the link between the heat we've been experiencing and more roadside trouble. The province has announced new supports for businesses being hit hard by the Canada-U.S. trade war.
This new program will provide Ontario-based companies in the steel, aluminum, and auto sectors some of the hardest hit by U.S. tariffs with up to $1 billion in funding support, and will provide some much-needed relief for Ontario businesses who are facing working capital challenges as a result of tariffs, including payroll, lease, and utility payments. Our government is committing $1 billion in emergency loans to be delivered through the new Protect Ontario financing program, which will serve as a key part of our plan to not only keep workers on the job in sectors impacted by tariffs, but to also help us build a more resilient and self-reliant economy that future generations of Ontarians can count on.
The announcement comes along with the province's latest fiscal update. The first quarter finances showed Ontario's GDP increased 0.6% in that period, supported by higher exports and household spending. The extreme heat is having an impact on our vehicles. If you've noticed more cars breaking down on the side of the road, you're not alone. CAA reports a 15% increase in the number of calls for service. CTV's Katie Griffin explains why.
The extreme heat taking a toll on vehicles.
Most people don't realize in the hot weather is your battery is at risk. It's sitting underneath the hood. The temperature underneath your hood is increasing, so it actually cooks the battery.
CAA reporting a 15% increase in calls for service over this time last year.
Just general driving breakdown on the road, as well as like radiators and just heat-related, everything starts to break. It puts a stress on your vehicle.
CAA says there are a number of reasons behind the spike in calls for service, including this extreme heat. More people are traveling within Canada, and they're keeping older vehicles longer.
We've experienced a lot of vehicles overheating on the side of the road.
Ontario Provincial Police have been busy responding to vehicles that had broken down because of the heat, including one that caught fire on the 417. They say regular maintenance and checks are key.
One of the things you want to do is make sure that your fluids are all topped up in your vehicle, do the regular maintenance, have an emergency preparedness kit with you. You can purchase those in stores.
Katie Griffin, CTV News.
And updating our top stories, Leanne Evans in studio with us as we keep an eye on the potential for that disruption at Air Canada. The airline says it's going to start canceling flights tomorrow.
Yeah, Tony, it's in response to the union representing about 10,000 flight attendants issuing that 72-hour strike notice. All flights by Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge will be grounded by the weekend in what Canada's largest airline calls an orderly shutdown. Customers whose flights are canceled can get a full refund. There are no Air Canada flights that take off from Waterloo Region's airport, but there is a bus that goes from here to Pearson. It's unclear if that would be impacted. There's a shooting investigation underway at a Kitchener motel tonight. One man has non-life-threatening injuries, and 2 other men from the region were arrested in what police say was a targeted shooting. It happened around 11:30 this morning. Officers were seen guarding a door to a taped-off room at the Victoria Motel this afternoon. There's no word on any charges at this time.
And Leanne, something our digital team has details on over on our website, some tighter water restrictions coming into place in Guelph.
Yeah, so the city announced their outside water program is moving from level 1 yellow to level 2 red. This will impact people who are wanting to water their lawns or wash their cars. You can get more information on how it could impact you. Scan the QR code, download the CTV News app, or go to ctvnewskitchener.ca for that full story. Tony.
A lot of communities trying to get ahead of the potential for danger with the dry conditions out there as well. I noticed it all the way back from cottage country this week, some dry conditions. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Leanne.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. The bittersweet signal that the end of summer is near. That story coming up a little bit later. But first, you might have seen some monarch butterflies fluttering around your backyard. The endangered species is gearing up for its migration to Mexico later this month. The population has seen a decline over the last few decades, but as CTV's Alexandra Hollick shows us, there are ways to keep the species afloat.
Whether you're 8, 9, or 89, the magic of monarch butterflies can be captivating.
I think it's a really cool animal, or insect, I should say.
It's amazing what they do. You don't know what they're going to do.
The orange and black winged creatures are gearing up for their annual migration to Mexico. But for now, they're spending time at a Stratford park.
The butterflies that you see throughout the summer are here to basically enjoy their summer vacation. The monarchs we're seeing now, the eggs that are being laid now, are what we call the super generation. They're going to be slightly bigger.
Barb Hacking has been raising monarchs for over 40 years. She says she does it to educate others about the endangered species and its dwindling population.
2 years ago, the population in Mexico was down again. And this year they're saying, oh, it's doubled. But they have to realize it's doubled from not very many to begin with.
Experts say monarchs thrive in areas full of milkweed, and the best way to keep the population going is by planting milkweed in your own garden. But a new research study from the University of Guelph suggests there are other steps that can be taken on a global level.
That includes a collaborative multi-million-dollar approach between Canada, the United States, and Mexico.
The conservation of this species is really a shared effort between the three countries because monarchs move between these three countries over the annual cycle.
The study suggests investing $150 million over 5 years, with majority going toward replenishing milkweed habitats in the U.S. Midwest.
And then in the 5th year, you would actually allocate funds both in southern Ontario and the prairie provinces of Canada, as well as in Mexico, where the butterflies overwinter.
With the hopes that millions of milkweed plants will bring millions more monarch butterflies.
If you plant for them, they will come.
Alexandra Hollig, CTV News, Stratford.
And coming up next, the bittersweet signal that the end of summer is getting close. CTV's Jessica Smith previews the CNE. So let's go to the X and see what's in store this year. It's an annual event that brings with it mixed emotions. On one hand, it signals that summer is coming to an end. On the other, it means 2 more weeks of fun. The CNE is set to kick off on Friday, and CTV's Jessica Smith has a preview.
This is 2 feet of hot dog goodness right there. Look at that. Great for a family of 4. By yourself, we don't judge.
It's a Canadian tradition.
Well, it's 146 years and the tradition continues, and it's a fantastic year this year.
The Canadian National Exhibition, also known as the CNE or the X, is a symbol of summer in the city.
I think this is so, into our DNA, really, as Torontonians, because no matter where you are in the GTA, we all have stories here.
From the butter-based food and drinks to the chicken nugget-filled cookies to the spicy lemonade, there's a tangy treat to tantalize your taste buds.
Well, the CNE does a great job with the foods, and they do it over the top every year. And I tell everybody, right? There you go. I tell everybody it's the city's best cheat day.
New to the CNE this year is Mythos, an immersive cultural storytelling experience.
So you can touch the floor, interact with virtual fires. You can touch the tables and interact with koi that are swimming in the water. There's lots of different moments where you feel like you're a part of the story.
A drag brunch has also been added this Sunday, featuring Canada's drag race icons, with proceeds from the show going to a local 2S LGBTQIA+ charity.
You're getting people who are traveling from all over. You're getting people who are seeing their very first show, some people who have seen 1,000 shows before. So it's always fun to see who comes.
From entertainment to rides and mouth-watering, mind-boggling foods, the CNE is sure to wow its visitors.
And that report from CTV's Jessica Smith at the X. And let's check in now with Heather Wright in the National Newsroom for a look at what's coming up tonight at 11.
Tonight, what you need to know about a potential strike at Air Canada.
The union understands that this is the time of year to strike when it's peak season.
As the airline prepares to cancel flights. That's later on CTV National News.
Still feeling a bit of that humidity out there. I'll let you know how your morning is looking and wake up weather coming up. Here's what's on CTV tonight. Stick around for Match Game at 7 o'clock. Then at 8, Master Chef before Gordon Ramsay's Secret Service at 9. Then at 10, Battle of the Generations.
It's Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning.
3 awesome people that want to start your day or finish your overnight shift.
You'll laugh, you'll text, you'll call, you'll scratch your head, and maybe even beat Backstage Ben. Weekday mornings from 5:30 to 10.
Listen live on the iHeartRadio app or at 105.3 Virgin Radio.
Well, Leanne Evans joins us now with a look at what we're following for later tonight. Leanne.
Tony, firefighters continue to battle two massive grass fires in cottage country as dry, hot conditions persist. Evacuation orders have not been issued at this time, but widespread fire bans remain in place. We'll keep an eye on the situation near the Kawartha Lakes and bring you the latest at 11:30. Tony.
Leanne, thank you so much. Alex, I was hinting to you that I saw some of that firsthand. I was in Halliburton, and then, of course, driving back through the Kawarthas, Peterborough, Northumberland, all down through, you know, sort of northern Durham region. I didn't see one green lawn that entire way. That's how dry it is out there right now.
Oh yeah, I feel like not even there. My lawn's terrible.
Well, no, around here too.
But
I mean,
especially
it's just
there.
It gives you a sense of why these burn bans are coming into place.
Yeah, definitely. We're really feeling that heat. It's been a bit of a difficult summer with that heat and humidity, but hopefully we're going to get a little bit more relief, especially some of those still under that heat warning. So Hamilton, Brantford, Toronto, even Kingston this hour. Hopefully, as we get into the overnight, that'll get lifted. But tomorrow for Waterloo region, 6 a.m., 16 degrees, sunny conditions pretty much for most of the day. That is expected. We should get to about 23 or so by 10 a.m. So still quite warm, but definitely a little bit more manageable, especially if you're going to be, you know, going for a walk for the dog around 6 or so, 6:30 in the morning. It makes it a little bit better.
All right. Well, finally for us tonight, a medieval jewel in the UK has had a multi-million-dollar makeover, and it's reopening its doors to the public. Norwich Castle is one of Europe's most important Norman palaces, I should say. It fully reopened today after a $51 million 5-year redevelopment that transports visitors 900 years into the past.
Now, the fortress has been transformed into an immersive historical experience, allowing the public to explore all 5 floors for the first time ever. There are also interactive displays and immersive audiovisual laser projections telling the story of the castle. In terms of cost, doesn't seem too bad. Admission, £17 per adult. That's about $32 Canadian. How incredible would it be to see that?
Very cool, yes. And, you know, a small price to pay, I think, to step back almost what's the word? It's almost a millennium. I was trying to think of the word for 1,000 years.
Not too bad. Gotta say, $32 Canadian.
All right, that's our time. We'll see you again tonight at 11:30. Have a good night.
Take care.